Hello students, in this session let us solve some more problems relating to incidence of tax liability. See this problem. Azad discloses following particulars of his receipts during the previous year. Salary income earned at Bombay but received in Sri Lanka rupees 2,50,000. Salary income earned in India but received in Sri Lanka. Here all three types of residents, they are ordinary resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident, must pay tax on this amount because the income is accrued in India. Next one, profit earned from a business in South Africa which is controlled in India. Half of the profits being received in India, rupees 2,20,000 rupees. Business was set up in South Africa but controlled in India. Profits earned in foreign country which is controlled in India. Here ordinary resident and not ordinarily resident must pay tax on this 2,20,000 rupees. But non-resident must pay tax on the amount which they received in India. Here they particularly mentioned half of the profits being received in India. That means half of this 2,20,000, that is on 1,10,000 rupees, non-resident must pay tax in India, because non-resident is liable to pay tax only on the income which he earned in India, that may be accrued in India or received in India. Because of that reason, on 2,20,000 rupees, both ordinary resident and not ordinarily resident must pay tax, but on 1,10,000 rupees, non-residents must pay tax. Next one, income from property situated in Nairobi and received there, rupees 75,000. Nairobi is a foreign country and income from property situated there and income also received there. That means here only ordinary resident must pay tax on this 75,000 and not ordinarily resident and non-resident no need to pay tax on this amount because income received abroad. Next one, income from agriculture in Bangladesh and brought to India, rupees 68,000. Agriculture income from abroad, only ordinary resident must pay tax on this amount. Next one, dividend paid by an Indian company but received in London on 15th May 2018. Here that is 15th May 2019, because your assessment year and previous year will change every year. Rupees 22,000. Make it as 2019, okay. Dividend paid by an Indian company but received in London, exempted from tax because dividend by Indian company is exempted from tax. No need to pay tax on this amount. Next one, past foreign untaxed income brought to India, rupees 2,10,000 rupees. Past foreign untaxed income not taxable in anyone's hand, so not taxable. Next one, gift of 1,000 US$ from father settled in USA, received in India, rupees 80,000. Father is a relative and gift from relative is exempted from tax, so 80,000 is exempted amount. Next one, land sold in Delhi, consideration received in Canada, resulting into capital gain of 2,50,000. Here land is sold in Delhi, that is land is situated in India but amount received in Canada, that means income accrued in India, taxable in the hands of ordinary resident, not ordinarily resident, as well as non-resident. All three categories must pay tax on this 2,50,000. And income from structure designing consultancy service set up in Germany, controlled from India, profit being received outside India 4 lakh rupees. Here, business or this consultancy service, that is profession, set up in Germany but controlled from India. Any business situated outside India and controlled in India, only ordinary resident and not ordinarily resident must pay tax on this amount. Non-resident are not liable to pay tax. Only two categories must pay tax on this 4 lakhs rupees. Next, see, loss from foreign business controlled from India, sales being received in India. Loss from foreign business, rupees 2 lakhs rupees is deductible from the income of all three categories of people, because here sales being received in India. So, this amount is deductible from the profit earned by ordinary resident, not ordinarily resident, as well as non-resident. Next, see, an award of rupees 1 lakhs received from Bangalore BBMP for active involvement in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Any award is exempted from tax. So, this amount is also exempted from tax. Next one, cash award of rupees 25,000 received from University of Mysore for securing first rank in MPhil in philosophy. Cash award, that means award, is exempted from tax. So, this one also exempted from tax. Next one, interest on deposits with Bangalore branch of HSBC Bank rupees 30,000, taxable in the hands of all three categories, because interest on deposits in Bangalore is in India, that is why taxable. Next one, past untaxed profit of 2018-19 brought to India during the previous year 80,000 rupees. Not taxable because previous untaxed profit, not relating to the previous year. Next one, interest on German development bonds 2/5 is received in India rupees 60,000. Here German development bonds is relating to foreign company or foreign country. Here 2/5 of which is received in India. Ordinary resident must pay tax on this 60,000, but not ordinarily resident and non-resident must pay tax on 2/5 of this amount. 2/5 of 60,000 amounts to rupees 24,000. That two categories of SSC must pay tax on only 24,000 rupees, because German development bond is relating to Germany and not India. Here determine his taxable income for the previous year 2019-20 if he is resident and ordinarily resident, resident but not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. Here considering Mr. Azad as a resident and ordinarily resident, not ordinarily resident and non-resident, you have to calculate his taxable income. The solution being computation of taxable income of Azad for assessment year 2020-21. Here we have to write what I have explained previously, that is particulars and three amount column, that is ordinary resident, being not ordinarily resident, and non-resident. You have to write each and every particular in the particulars column In short, you can write, no need to write the full sentence. If that is difficult for you, you can write the whole sentence. And here you have to write the amount in amounts column. If that amount is not taxable, you have to write as empty, that is not taxable, and if that amount is exempted from tax, you have to write as exempt. Go through all these items, and here see this see gift from father, that is 7th one and 5th one. Dividend paid by an Indian company, both are exempted, and past untaxed income not taxable, and loss from business received in India, that is negative figure, you have to write it inside the bracket. Next, see here, award received and cash award received exempted from tax, and past untaxed income not taxable, and the total taxable income of Azad as ordinary resident amounts to rupees 11,53,000, and as not ordinarily resident, his taxable income amounts to rupees 9,74,000, and as non-resident, his taxable income amounts to rupees 4,64,000 rupees. So this is the solution, and this type of problem may come for 16 marks in your final exam. Very simple problems. The thing is, you have to read and remember all 34 points which I have given in the previous session. If you are thorough with that 34 points, you can write these things very easily. Let us solve, see the notes here. Any money or property received as a gift or an award from local authority, university, education institution, foundation or trust are exempt from income tax as per section 56 subsection 2 of Income Tax Act of 1961. Here, award from BBMP is a local authority, and award from Mysore University is award from university. So, both of them are exempted, as I told you previously. And past untaxed income, that is income of previous years, cannot be taxed at the time of remittance or when brought into India. That is this untaxed, that is past untaxed income is not taxable at the time of remittance or when brought into India, so not taxable. Next one, interest on German development bonds received as well as accrued outside India, it is foreign income. That is why only ordinary resident must pay tax on whole amount, but not ordinarily resident and non-resident must pay tax on the amount which they received in India. Let us solve the second problem in this session. See the problem. Ram provides following details of income. Calculate the income which is liable to be taxed in India for the assessment year 2020-21, assuming that he is ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. See the particulars and amount. I am explaining the problem while reading the problem, so listen carefully. Salary received in India from a former employer of UK. Here employer is from UK, but salary received in India, amount received in India, so taxable in India only. All three categories must pay tax on this amount, 1,40,000 rupees. Next, see, income from tea business in Nepal being controlled from India. Business controlled from India only, ordinary resident and not ordinarily resident must pay tax on this amount, 10,000 rupees. Next one, see, interest on company deposit in Canada, 1/3 received in India. Interest on company deposit in Canada, that is foreign income accrued and received outside India. only one third received in India. That means out of 30,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees received in India, rest 20,000 rupees received outside. Here ordinary resident must pay tax on whole 30,000 rupees, but not ordinarily resident and non-resident are liable to pay tax only on the amount which they received in India, that is 10,000 rupees, that is one third of 30,000. Next one, see, profit from a business in Mumbai controlled from UK rupees 1 lakhs rupees. Profit from a business in Mumbai, that is in India, they are receiving income in India 1 lakh rupees, 3 categories must pay tax. Next, see, profit for the year 2002-3 from a business in Tokyo remitted to India. The income of that year is remitted to India, that is past untaxed amount remitted to India, not taxable under any head. So, this is not taxable. Next one, income from a property in India but received in USA. Income accrued in India because property is in India 45,000, all 3 categories must pay tax. Next one, income from a property in London but received in Delhi. Amount received in India but accrued abroad, they have to pay tax on 1,50,000 rupees, all 3 categories. Next one, income from a property in London but received in Canada. Here income accrued in abroad as well as received in abroad, only ordinary resident must pay tax on this 2,50,000 rupees. Not ordinary resident and non-resident, no need to pay tax. Next one, see, income from a business in Zambia but controlled from Turkey. Here Zambia as well as Turkey both are foreign countries. So, it is not at all related to India, that is why only ordinary resident must pay tax on this 10,000 rupees. Not ordinary resident and non-resident, no need to pay tax. Next one, gift of commercial property received from his father's friend by way of will rupees 3,50,000 rupees. Here gift of commercial property received from father's friend by way of will is exempted, because any gift in kind is exempted except jewelry, immovable property, shares and security. So, this one is exempted. And the next one, gift from notified charitable institution. This one is also exempted because it is from notified charitable institution. Next one, gift from an employer is taxable in the hands of all 3 categories, because here they didn't mention about the country of the employer. That means you have to assume employer is in India only, it is taxable. And next one, his company allotted shares as a gift. Here share is in kind but it is excluded from exemption, that means 75,000 rupees is taxable. Next one, gift of gold chain from his friend. Gift as jewelry is taxable, so 60,000 is taxable in the hands of the SSC. As ordinary SSC, not ordinary resident and non-resident, they have to pay tax. Next one, income from property in Canada received outside India. 76,000 is used in Canada for meeting educational expenses of his daughter in USA, and 10,000 later on remitted to India. You can ignore the points given inside the bracket. Here income from property in Canada and received outside India rupees 86,000 rupees, taxable in the hands of ordinary resident only. So this is the problem. You have to calculate taxable income of Mr. Ram, considering him as ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. You can go through this solution. In this solution, the things which I explained earlier is written in this format. The salary received in Canada from the former employer in UK 1,40,000 taxable in all three hands, and income from tea business in Nepal controlled from India taxable in the hands of ordinary resident and not ordinary resident only, and in the hands of non-resident not taxable, and interest on company deposits in Canada. See this one. 1/3 received in India, that means here not ordinary resident and non-resident must pay tax on only 10,000 rupees, that is 1/3 of 30,000 rupees. Next one, profit from business in Mumbai controlled from UK, here profit is earned in India, that is taxable. Past profit remitted to India not taxable. Next, income from property in India received in USA taxable in the hands of all categories because income from property in India. Next one, see, income from property in London received in Delhi, here income received in India taxable. Next one, income from property in London received in Canada rupees 2,50,000, only ordinary resident must pay tax on such incomes. Next, see, income from a business in Zambia and controlled from Turkey taxable in the hands of ordinary resident only, and gift from father's friend exempted from tax, gift from notified charitable institution exempted from tax, gift from employer taxable, shares as a gift from company taxable, gift of gold from a friend here taxable because it is in the form of jewelry. Next one, income from property in Canada taxable in the hands of only ordinary resident. Here total taxable income of ordinary resident amounts to rupees 10,41,000, and in the hands of not ordinarily resident 6,75,000, and in the hands of non-resident 6,65,000. So this is the problem of 16 marks. Go through this problem thoroughly. Next, see the notes. Any property or money received as gift or any form by way of will inheritance is exempted from income tax as per section 56 subsection 2, and any property or money received as gift or any form from notified charitable institution or trust is exempted from income tax as per section 56 subsection 2, and gift of gold chain from his friends is taxable as per section 56 subsection 20. So these are the problems relating to incidence of tax liability. Let us stop this session and let us solve some more problems in the next session. Thank you. Let us meet in the next session.